What's up, guys? AJ from Atmosphere Tactics and Gear coming at you with another video today. I think we're going to be talking about the difference between carrying one in the pipe and not carrying one in the pipe on your carry firearm. So, um, for this video, I am going to be doing a few different smaller demonstrations with this guy here. This is the Sky CPX2, and it's a budget gun. I mean, it's not anything crazy. It's not a Glock. It certainly is not a SIG or a Springfield, or you get it. Okay, it's not a great product. Is it going to do the job? Yeah, probably. You might have a few failures here and there. You might not have the durability or the reliability as some of those other guns that are on the market. But this is actually not a bad option for if you're trying to save a few bucks. Um, you're not cheaping out too crazy. I mean, these things go for about 250, 300 bucks roughly. Actually, it's a pretty good comparable firearm as far as price goes to like the Taurus, the G2Cs and the G3s. Very comparable there. So, anyways, we will set that down for right now. Before we get more into discussion, I kind of want to run and grab my snap cap actually, since we're going to be doing a few different draws. I've got a holster here, is inside the waistband holster. So I'm going to grab that snap cap and we'll fire back into it here in a sec. All right, friends. So we have got our snap cap here. We're going to go ahead and take this is an empty magazine, nothing else in there. It's just a follower right there. So safety precautions, safety is key. So for those of you who don't know, a snap cap is basically a dummy round that you can train with and do exercises with, and dry fires and all that other sort of practice. Have that on hand, just super helpful to have. So we've got our snap cap here, and we've got our firearm. Now, me personally, just a little bit of a backstory real quick. I used to not carry one in the chamber or one in the pipe. That just, it for whatever reason, I could not mentally prep my brain to feel comfortable with that. And that's probably what a lot of people out there feel like, especially if you're a new gun owner, and if your gun doesn't have a safety. Like this gun right here does not have a safety. Now there are guns, or there are actually some of these CPX2s that do have safety mechanisms, manual safety levers right here. Now, that can give a little bit of sense of discomfort, to know that your gun is loaded and there is no safety. But as far as an argument goes here, ask a lot of the pros. If you know a family member or a friend who's big into firearms and maybe they carry a firearm on them, ask them, see their opinion, see what they have to say. And I can almost guarantee it would be something along the lines of the fact that your fingers are your safety. Now, in basic firearm, tactics and education, you never point the gun in a direction you do not intend to destroy. You always point the firearm in a safe direction. Even if you're standing here talking, waving it around like I am, I'm pointing it up in the ceiling. Always know what is beyond your target, and always keep your fingers off of the trigger. Never put your finger in the trigger guard unless you are ready to discharge that weapon. And in such case, you make sure that that weapon is in a safe direction. Two very simple rules to follow. So that's one thing. Now, some people out there might think, well, what if the gun fails and it's locked up and ready to go and cocked, locked, ready to rock, and what if it fails and it hits me or I shoot myself or whatever? Yeah, that's something to consider. I mean, let's face it, firearms are machines. They're tools. They're made of metal, and things that are machines can fail sometimes. The likelihood of that happening, very, very slim, honest to God. Um, Especially if you're carrying a good quality firearm. You know, maybe I'm not, maybe I don't have the good quality firearm right here. I mean, again, this is a budget firearm for concealed carry. But if you're carrying something like a Glock or a SIG or a Smith and Wesson M&P, or anything, H&K, a CZ, if you're carrying a more well-known brand that's backed by years of manufacturing and design and all that other stuff, you're gonna have a much even more less likelihood of having a mechanical failure like that. Um, and a big key thing on this gun here is this is the firing mechanism is actually called a double action. And I'm sure a lot of you out there who are watching this probably know already what that means, but it basically operates like a revolver. So revolvers are double action, single action. Some revolvers are only single action actually. But so this gun here actually has a very long trigger pull. It has a long draw to that trigger before that trigger breaks. It's double action only. It's got a very stiff trigger pull. It's got a very, long reset to the trigger. And you can't shorten this up any way, shape, or form. Now, there are striker fire systems out there that once you rack the slide, it's got a shorter trigger pull. You have to put less pressure on that trigger in order for it to actuate and go off. Um, but anyways, aside from all of that, what it really boils down to is if you're going to carry a firearm, you have to train your brain and do whatever it takes to feel comfortable that you will be able to carry around in the chamber. I cannot stress that enough. Um, that's it's almost foolish to not carry one in the chamber. I mean, military personnel and law enforcement alike, if you ask them, they will tell you that they always carry their weapon hot. They always carry one in the chamber. Why? For a many amount of reasons, for a multitude of reasons. Because just a few of them right off of the bat, it saves time. Um, and you might be thinking, well, it's only a few seconds. I draw my weapon, I rack it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but that's still time. And statistically proven, most encounters where you have to use deadly force to defend your life are going to happen from 6 feet or less away. You really think, are you really going to gamble your life that you have that amount of time to give up when someone is lunging at you with a weapon or they're pulling out a firearm to rob you or whatever? You want every advantage you possibly can to defend yourself and the loved ones you have around you. That being said, you're not going to achieve that very well with not having a round ready to go in the chamber. Um, these are all things that you need to consider. Another big thing is, what if for whatever reason one of your hands is, injured, or it's being restricted or whatever. Someone's grabbing at you and you're putting your hand out trying to block them, or maybe they've got your arm, they've got your hand, or they've hit you and they've injured you, or you're restrained or whatever, and you can't use that other hand to rack that slide back up here. What are you gonna do? I've had nightmares where in my nightmare I'm sitting in the driver's seat of my vehicle and someone's grabbing me through my windshield or my window of my door and trying to pull me out of the vehicle, and I can grab my gun but I can't rack it because I don't have my other hand. These are all things that you really have to kind of consider and remember when you're committing to carrying a firearm for the intended purpose of defending yourself. It's a cruel, scary world out there sometimes, and I mean, more and more crime and messed up people, psychotic people have been running around um, doing chaotic things, and you just never know when a situation could unfold. So, enough with the lecture. I'm gonna kind of get into a few examples on just drawing and showing you guys the difference. Now, I'm not officially set up here where I have like a shot timer, and I'm not comparing off of a stopwatch or whatever. I'm just going to kind of show you from a physical aspect of the difference, and hopefully this will boil down for you and kind of let you learn and understand a little better. And there's a hundred other videos out there on YouTube, where it goes more into detail. But this is just a fine line thing. So without further ado, let's kind of get into it. We are going to take our holster and stand up here. I'm going to insert my holster. I like to carry appendix. I used to carry 4 o'clock, but also we'll kind of touch base on that too, on different carry positions. I think that kind of matters too. So we've got our snap cap here in our magazine. We've got our firearm. We go ahead and insert that magazine with the snap cap. Put our gun in the appendix position, and I guess before we start drawing, I will go into a little further detail on that explanation I was telling you guys about on carry position. A lot of it's going to boil down to a preference thing on what is comfortable for you. You always got to remember, don't do what the other guy's doing. Do what works for you. Do what's comfortable for you. That's important. But I mean, the bigger thing, you always got to think outside of the box. You got to think of alternative reasoning and I guess things that could happen. One big thing that I always used to do, I used to, when I first started carrying a firearm, I would always appendix carry. And then I put a little bit of gut weight on, drinking all the beer all the time and blah, blah, blah. Obviously not when I had my firearm on me, but, I put on a little bit of extra weight in the belly area. So it got to be uncomfortable. Also, I am a motorcycle enthusiast, so when I'd be riding the bike, that firearm would really pinch into the tank as I was kind of leaning over on it on my sports bike, and that got to be a little uncomfortable too. So I started carrying at the 4 o'clock position, and if that's where you want to carry, that's fine. It's out of sight, it's out of mind, and I'm not printing any of that stuff, and it's still very accessible. But the one downfall to that is I always went back to thinking about how the football player, the running back, how he covers the ball, how he has the ball in this core area and he's protecting the ball, and that's how he operates and handles the ball. Same principle. With the appendix carry, the benefit is that it's in your central area and you have full control over that area. It's not outside of your working area. You kind of have to do a bend to get to this 4 o'clock position. Another big thing is like, when I'm at the gas station fueling up or, whatever, if I'm bending over to grab something, I'm fully defenseless right now. I mean, because yes, I can go to this area, but it's more accessible for someone else to come up behind me if for whatever reason they see my firearm on me. They can run up and grab it probably faster than I would be able to. And also, they are going to have the element of surprise on me because they're behind me and I have my attention focused in front of me. So there's another kind of, I guess, thing for you guys to think about. You guys really have to strategize this and plan it out before a situation like that could happen. So I like to appendix carry. It's more practical, and it's reasonably comfortable for me as well. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead do a few quick little draws here. Now, let's just take a look at this one more time. Obviously, action is clear. We're all empty, nothing in there, and we have our snap cap here as well. Now, so the chamber is empty, and we're gonna kind of include the fact that you might, because you're under pressure, you might be kind of trying to really grab your shirt up and lift and all that other stuff because you're under pressure. So let's try this drill without one in the chamber, without anything in the pipe. So here we go. I got my hands up. Oh, there's an attacker. There's an attacker. Okay, draw, charge, boom. Okay, that was, I don't know, 2-3 seconds through the whole transition. Okay. Oh, drop my snap cap. We're gonna go ahead and run that same drill one more time. In the mag, we're gonna feed the weapon after we draw. So we have our firearm. Oh, there's someone running at us. Oh, okay. Boom. Okay, you heard the click of the trigger go off. Okay, now we are going to pretend like we're leaving the house. We throw our magazine in our gun, rack it in. We'll do a little bit of a, you see the round in there. Okay, so firearm is hot, it is loaded. Okay, someone's running at us. See the difference? I mean, that's kind of a little faster if you ask me. Go ahead and run that one more time. Snap caps in the magazine. We're leaving the house. Got our keys, got our wallet, got our gun. Rack one in the chamber. Do a check. Boom. Okay. Oh, you're loading your carton. You're loading your groceries from your cart in your vehicle. You're turning around. Oh, catch it off guard. Boom. That quick. There's no extra action required. There's no, your hands are cold. You're fumbling. Your hand actually accidentally slips. You have to go and reach for it again and rack it again. Run that drill back to back one more time on each. So we'll do the drill with the gun empty. Okay, on 3. Oh, getting a phone call now. I'm going to gonna have to edit that out. All right. On 3, 2, 1. Okay. That's drill number 1. Go ahead. And leaving the house. Okay, we're gonna rack that in there. Boom. Hot and ready to go like Little Caesars. All right. Getting mugged. 3, 2, 1. Kind of grab my shirt right there, but that stuff is gonna happen when you're trying to be quick, when you're trying to go quick, when you're under pressure and you see someone running at you with a knife or something. You're gonna snag. You're gonna snag a little bit. You're gonna have deficient failures or whatever from time to time when you're in a pressure sensitive situation, and that is why I'm demonstrating these drills for you. To guess, I guess, prove that point, or really kind of put emphasis on some of these variables and some of these points. So, all in all, carrying one in the chamber versus leaving your round or your leaving that chamber empty. I think that the explanation is clear. Now, the decision is up to you guys as far as what you want to do. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. Nobody should tell you how to live your life. As a matter of fact, you are free to do as you feel comfortable and as you feel is suitable for your needs. But I'm just encouraging you on some tips, I guess, is all. And obviously, one thing to remember is as you grow into the transition, if you are currently carrying without one in the chamber, and you're growing to transition into that carrying one in the chamber, good rule of thumb is if you guys aren't extremely serious, or um, you don't have that extra level of safety, don't leave your gun laying out. Always, your subconscious is going to tell you that you don't have one in the chamber. But if you start carrying one in the chamber, you have to remember, oh yeah, I'm carrying one in the chamber now. You gotta increase your security a little better. You gotta change your living habits maybe a little bit. So keep that in mind. You guys stay safe out there. Practice, train, and education is key in the firearm world, in the firearm realm of things. If you're going to be a gun owner, you got to have all of these, safety, practice, and training and security. I mean, those are the keys. So you guys be good. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful or educational for you, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, and follow our channel for future content and helpful tips and tricks. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay proficient. Adios, amigos.